Lord of the Flies. Emily Van Tassel, Dakota Duncan, Spencer Klotz, Jordan Bick, and John Yoon.
Golding's message and purpose. Golding's message in Lord of the Flies is that the human race civilized and their society is full of order and laws. All humans have an inner savagery which seems to point to where humans came from, uncivilized hunters and gatherers. Intro to big ideas, rules/order, and power. Power and rules/order go in hand, with them almost always being together. With power, there is usually someone who has to set rules, and if someone is in power, then others will listen to the rules. There's a never-ending cycle of people that will break rules to get into power, and then they set new rules. There seems to be a recurring theme that rules must be broken to have a power shift. Examples and specifications of big ideas. Jack also disobeys the rules that Ralph sets for them to survive and turns against Ralph because he wants power. The children use the conch as a symbol of chieftainship. Invented rules for fresh water, a way to build shelters, and places to use as a waste area. They decided that the number one rule was to keep the fire going. A rule that whoever holds the conch is the speaker and everyone else should be quiet and listen. Ralph is elected as chief and Jack is chosen as the leader of the hunters.
Maslow's theory can be found in The Lord of the Flies. The first step is psychological. The kids needed water, fruits, and meat, and they needed a place to get rid of their waste. The second part was safety and security. They needed shelters from the beast and bad weather, and they needed order in the group meetings. That's why they used the conch, and they needed spears to hunt and protect themselves from the beast. Third part was love and belonging. They wanted a grown-up to help and comfort them. They were always missed their parents in society, and some of the kids, like Simon and Piggy, wanted to be accepted by the others. Esteem. There was a power struggle between Ralph and Jack. Jack wanted to be chief and ruler, and Jack wanted to be respected and have dominance in the group. And the last step is self-actualization, and only two people reach that, which are Piggy and Simon. The text matters because it causes people who read it to question society and really think about their situation, and it allows them to know that humans have an inner savagery in them, and what's keeping them from becoming complete savages are the rules and laws that maintain order.
People my age should be concerned about the government aspect of this book because eventually they will be leading this country and be in control of the government side of things. In the book, the boys set up a system that doesn't work because Ralph is elected chief and then later replaced by Jack after the majority of the group didn't like how Ralph was running things. The ideas in Lord of the Flies affect my community because it can show how simple rivalries and bitter friendships can turn into catastrophic relationships of hatred that cause people to hurt one another. The community can learn to find common ground in whatever a certain dispute may be over. In the book, Piggy and Simon end up dead because of simple arguments like this.
People can relate to the novel as an individual when the boys have a need for order and rules. Without those two things, people feel unsafe. In addition, people have the power to do what they want on the individual level. However, they also have the power to control their actions. In the novel, the boys have the freedom or power to do what they want without adults. It is up to them how they act, treat others, and spend their time. On the island, some of the boys develop a close relationship that can be viewed as a family. For example, Jack and his choir boys break off from Ralph's group and become a separate tribe. In terms of family, this book shows that family stays loyal to each other. When they are banded together, they have more power than the individual. Jack's boys stay loyal to him, and in the end, they have more power than Ralph. The government in Lord of the Flies is Ralph and Jack, although Piggy, Simon, and Roger are close seconds to them. When the sidekicks run the show, it's very different compared to when the head honchos are running it. The heads make a lot of stupid mistakes, and it's generally up to the sidekicks to correct them or get them on the straight path. The main government controls what the law is and who has the order. Elections, like the one in Chapter 1 of Lord of the Flies, are symbolic of what our country and justice system represents. Ralph and Jack are constantly at each other's throats because Jack wants power over the boys. Most of the boys think that Ralph has too many rules, while Jack only wants them to be safe and happy. Humans typically have the feeling that they should be the center of the universe. They should be the ones who rule over everyone and make rules for themselves. Unfortunately, when those humans are less than 15 years old, they tend to make bad decisions about what they do and say. It doesn't turn out incredibly well for anyone else. Humans are selfish and cruel, as well as dangerous and innocent. They're almost impossible to predict and can totally obliviate everything and everyone around them with one swift move.